Suburbs of Cape Town and you've seen a big 4x4 driving around with a giant pink spade on it, then you'll be wondering, what on earth is that all about? Well, we are about to tell you a little bit more about it. But first, let me welcome Marius du Plessis to the studio. Marius, good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Brad. Thanks so much.
Yeah, what a pleasure. So, Marius is from Die Pienk Graaf Projek, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But how on earth did something like this all start, that you would be driving around, walking in the afternoons, starting this movement called the Pienk Graaf Projek? It had to start somewhere. What is the origin story?
Yeah, Brad, unfortunately or fortunately, it happens with us hitting a pothole, as I call it. And my pothole was my sister passed away about in June this year due to breast cancer. After a very long and brave fight, and then you hit this pothole, and then what do? And she was an amazing lady and did so much for people, and then the one thing led to the next, and the next moment my daughter sends me this Barbie video of a guy pimping his Land Cruiser, and I thought, well, what a great idea to raise awareness and to be able to go out to people and give them a piece of my heart, because it's a conversation starter. Hence, I'm sitting here with you guys as well. So that's very briefly, that's the start of the Pienk Graaf Projek that we had. Yeah.
Okay, so you've shared something now about your late sister. I happen to know her name is Adele.
Yeah.
But this must be a very special person. The more I've been thinking about this project, the more I'm thinking, for somebody to actually inspire you enough to I'm going to do something really big, not just for myself, but for the entire community in which I live, and to see this go into the rest of South Africa.
Yeah.
I want to take her legacy forward. I mean, she must have been incredibly special to you.
Definitely. I mean, into our family as well. So it's only the two of us. It's my younger sister. And I mean, what I also wanted to do is my dad is very practical, works with his hands. So suddenly as the Lord led us in this whole thing, my dad's painting the Pienk Graaf in Zanin, and I'm doing this in Durbanville. And the thing is just going, and it's without pushing it really.
Yes.
It's just, it must come naturally. And for me, the two messages was, listen, she worked like a graaf, like a shovel. Basically, no one knew it. She was a teacher for 20 years, and she took care of my kinders, as she would say, the children. And I have to do that. Otherwise, I'm not. That's what I promised myself through the process. Yeah.
Okay, so now we've heard about the Barbie and the pink, but I mean, this is you're a big man's man, driving you around in your 4x4 with this pink shovel. It is going to be a conversation starter. What conversation are you wanting to start?
For me, the most important one, the obvious one is, listen, it's pink, it was breast cancer month, and that's the obvious conversation. That's fantastic. So if I'm next to you at a traffic light and you look left and you're a mum that actually felt something in your breast yesterday and you're worried, just look up and say, someone is thinking about this. So that's the obvious one, the breast cancer and so. But the real one that sits on my heart is that it's not so difficult to help, because there's so many opportunities financially. You can help people go to something, go on a walk. But for me, as a man with a big Land Cruiser, the tough one was to receive help. And that's why the color of the pink, actually, it's to make something like a shovel or a graaf or a spade nice, good looking, which no one does, which I wanted to do because that's hard work. But the second one is to be vulnerable, and that's the tough one. I mean, is to say, I've got this big Land Cruiser, I can drive through my metaphorical potholes, bigger tires, I can engage low range, but man, the rattles will come. So that's what I had to go through my journey. I had to also ask for help, and that's for me the message, I think, leading into this month. I mean, guys, we also have to ask for help. We can't be the strong one always. By doing that, we get someone to fill our pothole, and then we can fill so many other potholes. So that's what's on my heart, specifically now, apart from the obvious conversation starter.
Yeah, and what's the journey been like so far? I mean, so much has happened just in the last few months since this was all initiated. So let's talk, man to man here during a month of November called Movember, conversations around prostate cancer and testicular cancer. We can bring that into the mix as well. I mean, I'm sure you've had some men go to you and say, Marius, I don't really know who to speak to. Can I just walk with you and talk with you? I mean, have you had moments like that?
I have had, but not enough. And that's why I won't stop. And that's my drive. I think it doesn't stop there, because what I've realized and what many people do, cancer touches many people's lives. The obvious is obviously there, but it's not just about the cancer. It's the bigger thing. It's the community around it. It's who will provide for my kids, those type of things. So it's such a a wide-spreading disease, and it's not just about the treatment and the cancer. It's actually, will I have enough money to drive for the oncology every month? What will happen there? So it's so many things that actually happens to your family, your wider care group. And what we normally do is, as men, or I did, is you shut down. You try and manage these things. Dudes, don't do it. Just open up. There's so many people that can help the bigger community. So, yeah, not enough. And I would encourage people just to start speaking about it, talking about it. I mean, go and pick up your Pienk Graaf at Spiro's. There's a lovely local business that actually, the guy saw me when I bought Graaf number 1, and I sprayed it pink. He said, listen, I'm going to order a few. So at Spiro's in Durbanville, go and buy it just to remind you to be vulnerable and to help.
And now the walks that you are doing in the morning and in the evening, I mean, this is also a massive commitment to say we are going, because, also these things start off well and they go strong. And then after a while you say, do I need a day with 10 kilometers of walking in it? I don't know. But you guys have been sticking to it and inspiring other people.
We have, and I mean, it's funny, we sort of stuck to the same areas a little bit, and then people are strange, the first few comments you get is, are you picking up the dog's mess with that shovel, that type of thing, but then eventually people start opening up after you walk past them the third, the fourth time. So yeah, it's been a commitment, it's been tough. Unfortunately, I haven't lost 1 kilogram, because my idea was I'm going to lose like 10 kilograms walking 250 kilometers, but yeah, I mean, that's also a message, just get out there, and the conversations around this walk is amazing. It's amazing.
So that's what the walk is. I mean, as much as it's good to be out and about, and we don't do it nearly enough, so there's a good reason to be doing it. Is it a time of just connecting with the people around you? How do you join a walk?
Listen, it was in October, and it's an open walk. It was 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. I just walked, and it was so fantastic. At stages, I walked, and there was my wife and maybe one other friend that I knew, and then people just came along. And what's actually so amazing, Zanine, the community where Adele lived, they went from challenging each other with these Land Cruisers and bakkies putting up the grawe on the side. They actually have a charity walk in 2 weeks' time, and what they've done is they said, listen, bring a rubbish bag and bring the tongs, and let's clean up the community as we walk. So it's just caring. How does the Pienk Graaf remind you to fill someone's bottle today? It can be a cup of coffee. It can be picking up a little piece of trash in a community. So that's the message. So walking is one thing, but that Graaf must remind you of what to do. And that's what I want to have out there. And I said the vulnerability as well, yeah.
And if somebody wants to walk along with you, and whoever joins you, how does one get involved?
I mean, I'll have to do my November planning now, because I did take off about 2 weeks after the October one, so I'll have to do that. But I mean, the big plan is I'm gonna launch again in January. That's the month that you want to lose weight and get going again. So I'm gonna launch again in January to maybe do look at the times and then do exactly the same through January. 6 a.m., 6 p.m. I'll have a little Facebook site, or the Pienk Graaf Projek has a site as well. Just go and have a look on there and just join us. I mean, just join us. No obligation.
Yeah. Alrie.
Ek net een vraag wat ek hier sit, en ek dink het met myself en gepraat van om onsself eintlik oop te stel, jy weet, en vulnerability is my so mooi woord. Ek dink hier daar's in Afrikaans my so mooi woord nie, maar ek wonder wat het dit gedoen aan jou om daai te deel en te wys in jou proses waar jy gerou het en waar jy nog steeds rou oor jou sis?
In my geval dink ek het besef op 'n stadium, omdat dit so lank proses was oor 11 jaar en die laaste 2 jaar was baie sleg geweest, het ek besef hierdie gat is so groot. As ek nie hulp kry nie, gaan ek nie uit hierdie gat kom nie, en ek sit met my ouers en my gesin aan die ander kant, my dogters en my vrou. So dis 'n bietjie, die Here het my in 'n groot gat ingegooi en gesê, hierdie is nie jou gat nie, verstaan jy? So dit is waar ek was, en ek wil mense aanmoedig om nie in daai groot gat in te gaan alleen nie. Voor jy op die rand van die gat staan, jy hoef nie my vrees te gehad het, ek gehad het nie. Kom saam met iemand in die gat en praat met iemand. Verstaan? So in my geval het die Here net 'n groot gat vir my gesit. Die moeder van gate. Dis waar ek dit gekom het.
So, dankie.
And what's the vision for the Pienk Graaf Projek going forward? I mean, you've started with the bang. People have jumped in, joined in. Clearly, the enthusiasm and the need is massive. What's the big idea?
The big idea is that it's not driven by someone or some community, that everyone internalize it and takes it inside of themselves and become Pienk Graaf ambassador by yourself. Just every day. Just to remind you, mine is on the back of my bakkie, my cruiser. It's not a bakkie, it's a cruiser. If I look to the left-hand side in my side mirror, I see it and I get reminded. So go and put one in your front garden if you're at home. Put it in your office. I mean, put it at school. Just name it something, because there's so much good in every community that we sometimes sort of, okay, what do I mean by doing good? Call it a Pienk Graaf moment. Just do that. If you see someone said, "Wat was jou Pienk Graaf vandag gewees?" Just the moment you can put a name to it and something says it's Pienk Graaf. Just you challenge someone. What have you done today to pick up your Pienk Graaf and fill someone's bottle? So I think naming it, internalizing it, that's my vision. I will continue. Whoever wants to do it, why not?
Exactly right. That's the voice of Marius du Plessis. Marius, what a pleasure. Van die Pienk Graaf Projek. You can find them on Facebook. Join it. Do your own thing. Start your own branch. Join in with all the other Pienk Graaf Projekte branches that are happening. Just happening by themselves and be part of something that's way bigger than we are. And also perhaps be there for somebody. Who can you speak to? What kind of difficult, almost awkward conversation that you've been too scared to have can you have today? Marius, massive thank you for your time. Thanks for coming to join us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the Facebook page, and who knows, maybe something